What's up, guys? So I get a lot of questions about injuries and what I do for injuries and recovery. So today I'm going to take you to physical therapy with me. I am going to be a human pincushion.
Whoa, yeah, good one.
And they're gonna electrocute me.
It might make good film to turn it all the way up to 10. I don't really know.
Let's do it.
And you'll get to meet Thomas. Thomas is growing a mullet.
Big wheels keep on turning.
And I have a little secret that he doesn't know that I know about that we're gonna bring up when I see him. So, come join me as I am the human pincushion that gets electrocuted. And it's gonna make me all better.
Dana, Lynn, Bailey.
Let's go! Do what I do! Work like I still got something to prove! Let's go! All I do! Work like I still got something to prove!
I haven't even said a line yet. Let's get electrocuted. So I'm here for my shoulder. I started coming to see Thomas. This is Thomas. He has a mullet right
I have
now.
a mullet, yeah.
There's something else
Right here.
that I told the people that I was going to talk about that I don't know if you know that I know.
Oh man, that could be there's a lot of layers there, so I don't know.
So this is Montana's sexiest man.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Which he was on Cosmo, so I'm with the famous
Yeah.
Cosmopolitan.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh no. That's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, just so you know, this is the sexiest man
It's
in
funny.
Montana.
I'll be at Costco and be like, were you the guy that was in Cosmo like 15 years ago? Because I grew up here.
But
You good?
I started coming to Thomas before I knew he was in Cosmo. I started coming to Thomas for my back because I did that whole powerlifting thing for a little bit, so I had a lot of lower back pain. And now he just sees me anytime I'm injured. So right now we're dealing with some shoulder injury that I don't know what it's really.
She has a tendency to lift heavy things repeatedly a lot. More than, I was trying to think about that the other day, like how many thousands of pounds you've lifted over the last 15, 20 years. It'd be really interesting to.
Billions and billions.
In normal daily human life, we all have the propensity to develop muscular imbalances just with normal daily activities. Then you start throwing a little bit of load at it over a certain time period, and those tendencies for certain muscles to be too strong or too developed or be too responsible for doing too many things tends to accumulate, and maybe some of those deeper stabilizer muscles maybe aren't helping out as much as they need to, and then we run into this imbalance. So sometimes when there's too much chemical stuff going on, meaning some inflammation, and too much mechanical stuff going on, meaning some tightness in joints or muscles and stuff, sometimes that becomes a big enough deal to the nervous system that it starts saying, wait a second, check engine light comes on, or the pain kind of shows up, and that's how it presents as pain or discomfort. So when Dana came in last week, she's been dealing with this shoulder thing, and both-sided, one more so than the other. Right, was pestering a little bit more. So I took her through like a movement screen, just looking at her neck, her shoulders, her back, like everything from top down, and kind of see where we're at from a range of motion standpoint. So we can kind of just take her through that right now again. So now look over your shoulder to the left, and then look to the right. And those both look a lot better too. Yeah.
This way sucked.
Yeah, it sucked. Yeah, and that's the medical term too. So it sucked this way. It didn't suck as much that way. So now we're gonna do reach behind the back here. Good. Any pain with either of those motions behind the back?
Just a little bit on the right.
So one of the corrective exercises I had her do last time was something called a reverse wall slide or a scapular wall slide. And what that is having her back against the wall. You can let your feet come off the wall a little bit. The standards of movement here would be, hips or kind of butt up against the wall, spine kind of flat against the wall, and then assessing where both of the hands lie.
Not even.
We should be able to do that, and when I say should, I mean when we open up a book, it says a human should have 90 degrees of shoulder, external rotation at 90 degrees of abduction. We're kind of expressing that up against the wall. But one of the cheats that people do, and Dana really likes to do this, is kind of extend her spine away from the wall, which allows the rib cage to change positions, which allows her, once again, task-oriented or goal-oriented, lets her get there.
Which
So you
is
can
why
see that
when I shoulder press, I'm like this, so that my. If you're someone that also shoulder presses and you arch the whole time, you're probably tight here. So try to do this.
Right.
And I'm way off. I'm so off.
Okay. So we're gonna try a few things, and then we'll retest up at the wall and see if that changed. If it doesn't, I'm gonna quit being a physical therapist and
Go back to modeling.
So
I think that's where your career is at.
I think I missed that.
honestly.
Trigger point during needling, a lot of times people are like, oh, you're just doing acupuncture. And it is the fact that I'm using acupuncture needles is basically where the similarities end. So the goal of this treatment is to apply a needle in that area to either mechanically disrupt the muscle to allow the chemical to get reabsorbed so it twitches. I'm helping stimulate the recovery of her own body to help create the healthiest balance of muscles. You see that little striation in the deltoid there?
This one is not good.
Yeah.
That one was not
That's your
good.
least favorite, right?
That and traps.
Yeah. There we go. And when I keep saying there we go, the muscle is kind of creating a little bit of a tension, or I'm getting a little bit of that release. So, okay, so we got subscap, bicep, tricep, deltoid, pec. Now we'll get her rolled over onto her stomach, and then we'll hit the posterior side or the back side, which will be the rotator cuff, traps, and lats. So right here, I'm kind of doing the border of her shoulder blade. It's a very important area for all the rotator cuff muscles to anchor from, and there's 20, 25 muscles that all attach to that bone that are influenced by movement. So on the back side, we're gonna leave the needles in. So I tell her to not move her arm, because there's been occasions, and you can see it kind of twitching right now a little bit. There's been occasions where there's been needles in her muscle and she moves her arm.
No, most of the time they're not in my arm, and I feel like they are in my arm.
That's a good, yeah, that happens too.
So this one is in my arm.
This is in your arm. So this is when we create a little bit of a electrical impulse into those muscles to get a little bit of contract and relax. These are the external rotators. So if you guys remember, when she's up against the wall trying to pull that arm back towards the wall, these are a couple of the muscles that are responsible for creating that pattern. So there we go. So we just let that kind of do its thing for about 60 seconds or so. Basically, we're not only locally affecting the health of these muscles to put them in a situation where they might be better able to tolerate the load or stress or strain that we're going to ask of them in the future, but we're also kind of helping decrease the threat from her brain to this area, because whenever we have pain in an area, the brain kind of map of this area gets a little bit fudged up or smudged up, so then that signal is just a little bit more, I don't know, you could say delayed, where the rotator cuff doesn't fire as quickly as it needs to whenever we go to reach or push or press overhead. So this is kind of doing not only local but also central nervous system effects. We're at 2. It might make good film to turn it all the way up to 10. I don't really know. I don't really know what would happen.
If I get 1 million views on this, I'll turn it up to 10. So
Gosh.
go ahead and reshare it.
Oh no.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
This is the nap time, so we're gonna get some heat.
So now we're doing heat. I take a nap, and then we do some ice, and then we're gonna retest and see if it feels. Actually, does feel a little bit better. Ugh.
Drip that over. Blood flow is like the king of healing, whether we're talking about muscles or we're talking about nervous system stuff. So getting some blood flow to this area is going to help cue that up. Also, the extensibility of the muscles and joints and joint capsules and stuff is better when they're warmer. So we're doing a few minutes of heat. This is arguably your favorite part of treatment.
Definitely
So,
favorite.
I mean, we know that Dana's shoulder workouts will destroy the average human. So the amount of shoulder workouts that this shoulder has done,
So many lateral raises.
it's pretty impressive. So I create a little bit of motion. Can you pull your shoulder blade down into the table a little bit? Good. Perfect. And then let's see how far back you can rotate here.
Oh, I think I could have did that before.
Okay. And that looks better. You know, checking you laying down, gravity's helping you get into this position versus there isn't an apples to apples comparison. But compared to last time, we kind of got stuck right about here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we addressed the muscle tension, so now we're going to do a little bit of joint mobilization. Let's recheck. Let's see what's going on over here now.
Better.
Hey, I don't know.
Not touching, but it's much.
I don't know much about camera shot angles, but that looks. I feel like you were here.
Oh, I was like way out.
Okay. Okay, so that's better. It's not optimal, but it's better. If I give pressure here,
Oh, then I
make
can
it
go
better.
back. Yep.
Okay. Assistance. So you got your homework.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Ice.
Ice. Ice next.
So that is what I do when I'm injured. So I did my first session last week. So I wish we had a before picture from last week because my mobility was horrible. If you watched from the beginning to end and just saw the difference of how much mobility I gained just from that release. So in layman's terms, I know he talks. Most of the time I don't understand him, but I like learning and I like hearing everything he's doing. I like him saying which muscles he's putting it in and what they do and why he's doing it. But in layman's terms, the dry needling is basically, it goes in and it helps you release everything that's tight and all the toxins that are in there. By putting the needle in, it helps release that. So I'll probably have a couple more sessions and then I probably won't see Thomas for a very long time. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys. I've been training for 16 years and I just started taking care of my body, but I've literally went 12 years doing absolutely nothing. When something hurt, I just stopped doing the exercise for a little bit until it got better. And now it's like if something hurts, I fix it. To be able to get back to doing what I want to do and what I love to do, I help myself recover a lot faster, and PT has been a blessing. So if you are local to Kalispell, Whitefish, Montana, check out Precision Montana. Thomas is the best. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment below. What else would you like to see? Thanks for watching. Bye.
We all get off the bus and then it's like, everybody takes their shirt off and I'm just like, look at all these ripped guys with six packs.
You're
I'm
like, please,
this isn't what, this isn't my world here.
Montana doesn't know how to
Don't do
diet
this.
here.
They hadn't fed us or anything yet, but they had this crazy awesome like barbecue catering. I'm like, I'm not missing out on this food. And I'm like, there's no way they're gonna make me stand there with my shirt off. I picked out on ribs and steak and chicken.
Before
my modeling debut. Then all of a sudden, so I got the meat sweats and everything, and they're like, all right, Thomas, and I was like,
You're
okay.
up.
Everybody was like going to be on the Today Show. I have like 5 seconds of massaging Katie Couric's upper trap on TV.
Oh my.
The big deal in New York was who got the full page in the magazine.
Did you?
I got a full page. So here I am.
Mr. Rib Eating Montana
Mr. Rib
Man.
Eating Montana Man.